Today in the nerdy news you need to know about: Dr. Disrespect's game studio cuts ties with the star. Jet Set Radio is allegedly getting a remake, and Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still on the way. Okay, don't hold your breath, everybody. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. It's okay, Cole. He didn't see the fog machines coming. The speakers he had been used to already. He's used to the voice of God, Kevin, coming down from up high.
I think it also might have just been you, like your intro.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, it was like, what's up? And he's like jolted up. He's like, oh, God,
it's okay. Go back. Nothing's happening. Everybody's safe. You can lay down. So the nanny out sick today. You know what I mean? Day 2. So it was one of those, what do we do? And I'm like, it's quite simple, Jen. I'll take Ben to work with me. I'll take Ben to work. And she's like, you're on 2 shows back to back. I'm like, it's no big deal. We got
Roger.
We got a bunch of kids out there. They want to be kids. Cool Greg loves kicking the ball with them in the parking lot. Roger wants to watch cars. It all makes sense. Jen said, that's too complicated. Instead, the entire family will come to work.
Oh.
And I'm like, Cole too? And she's like, well, you know how he's got the separation anxiety. I'm like, yeah, but also he's a dog. Fuck him. Lock him in the bedroom. I don't care if he barks a little bit. She's like, I will then have the anxiety if I know he's at home barking. I'm like, all right, Cole, get in the car. Jen and Ben on their way in a separate car. Everybody's here, but Cole Beans the dog is here. You're a video watcher. You see him on the center of the table. Now, of course, blessing.
I feel like at any moment he's just going to hop off and it's going to be a problem.
It was that idea. It would be a huge problem if you hopped off. It's that idea that when Porty was still around and we started putting him in the center of the table, we're talking about a dog that was pushing into his teens at that point. You know what I mean? He didn't have much of the old hops anymore. Whereas Cole, still very much a puppy. Not even about to be 2 years old. So he's got the energy still. I'm hoping, okay, there he goes. He's going to burrow back in. Because like the car ride, that's a lot of excitement for a little dog. You know what I mean? Like he's looking at the walls and lights over here. He's having a great time.
What world am I in? He feels like he's jumped universes to go from your house to
lay back down. It's fine.
Look at a video wall. See all these green and blue lights.
I won't be loud again, and there won't be smokes machines again. Okay, yeah, yawn. See, you're getting tired. Oh my gosh, puppy dog, lay down, be tired. Blessing, how are you?
I'm doing good. I want to congratulate Sabrina Carpenter on her first #1 with Please, Please, Please.
That's her first #1.
I know,
really?
it's so fucked up.
That's outrageous.
Because you would have thought that it would have been her previous song, Espresso. Because Espresso has been making the waves. You would have thought that maybe Nonsense would have done it. But yeah,
see, I would have thought Nonsense. Yeah,
Nonsense. I think it was the fact that Nonsense, became popular after the fact. It was also her breakout, right? And so like I found Nonsense through just TikTok algorithms and like her performing it live, and I think that like grew the popularity, but it didn't launch with that hype, right? It became that hype over time. And then Espresso reached #2. I don't know what, there must have been some other #1 that just kept it. Bad Bunny must release a song or something like that.
Bad Bunny. Can you name me a Bad Bunny song?
No.
You're right. But you know he's huge.
Oh, yeah, he's like ginormous.
Yeah.
Like probably, top 3 artists in the world right now?
I would think so.
Yeah. But I could not name you a Bad Bunny
stat
song.
about Bad Bunny, it's outrageous.
Yeah, that one, people are going to get mad at me for saying this. He has that one song with Drake. He was on the song with Drake.
How are they going to get mad at you stating the fact?
Yeah, but like it's like that's the one you know. It's because I'm somebody who's listened to a lot of Drake.
I strictly know him as a professional wrestler, so I can't. You know what I mean? I don't know one Bad Bunny song. I'm just saying what I know. Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations, Sabrina Carpenter. I think her tickets.
Is she watching?
Maybe. I hope so.
Yeah,
Can you imagine? I get so nervous.
She dates Joker, right? So I mean, Joker might be watching. He might be one of our guys.
I mean, could you imagine? For me, I was thinking about this morning. Weirdly enough, about Sabrina Carpenter, but then also Olivia Rodrigo, because I feel like she's...
You can't think about one without the other.
But it's funny...
When are they going to make up and have the best tour of all time?
Well, the context I was thinking about it with was just the fact that Olivia Rodrigo was the hotness, a couple years ago, and then like she released 2 banger albums back to back.
Yeah.
And now Sabrina Carpenter feels like she has entered that space where she is like, weirdly enough, the new Olivia Rodrigo.
Sure.
And I'm like, when are they... Like, one, how do they feel about each other? Are they beefing? Is it all like water in the bridge?
That's got to be over by now,
because it's like, I don't know if they had beef with each other. I think they just had beef with Joshua Bassett. Did they really?
Yeah,
I know Driver's License was about Sabrina.
Yeah, and then Sabrina did another song that mentions "Don't drive yourself crazy," and everybody was like, "Oh, she's fucking taking a shot."
See, this has the makings to be the next Kendrick versus Drake.
I hope they're happy. I want them to be happy with each other because they'll do eventually a tour. And again, they have to understand. I don't even know what boy was at the center of all the drama.
Joshua Bassett.
Who's that?
He's the star of High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he a dirtbag?
I mean, he's a professional fumbler. I know that. I don't know how he is as far as like his own personal morals, but you fumble both Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo, there's got to be something wrong with you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely no idea who this man is, but I appreciate it. He seems way too young to have his shirt that unbuttoned at the Teen Choice Awards or Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. Is it at least?
Yeah, but he's a heartthrob. He's a heartthrob.
I hear you.
I don't know if he is anymore. I feel like after
whatever happened to this fucking kid? You know what I mean? You want to talk about like?
Well, I hope he's like
note on Wikipedia the rest of his life.
But I hope he's like part of some talent scouting agency because apparently he has a talent. Like, this man is fucking finding the stars before they fucking make it big.
Yeah,
and so we got to keep an eye on the people who's dating.
Anyways, professional fumbler. You got to look back at that when you grow up a little bit, and I mean like literally. I don't mean grow up in terms of like. As you mature, and we look back at all of our younger selves and the dumb beefs we had. I hope, and I don't know anything beyond the songs and a little bit of the things I've heard. I hope they both look back and they go, "Oh, whatever." You know what I mean?
Well,
like that was stupid.
My thing is, I need
okay.
I need, and this is the toxic side of me talking, right? I need some sort of dynamic, right? Whether it is them partnering up and going, we're gonna make either some kind of collab album or do a collab tour or something along, or like maybe even if it's just one concert, the Sabrina Olivia concert. I need some kind of dynamic in that way, and if not any of that, then I need y'all to fight. I need y'all to make the beef album.
That's my thing. Is I want them to come together for one super concert.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That'd be so sick.
Get Chapel Ronan.
Yeah, just throw her in there for no reason. Yeah,
well, she's the hotness too, right?
Yeah. Oh, 1000%.
I love you.
But yeah, I just need them to interact in some way because like both of them are on fire right now. It's so crazy how we got here. Anyway, video games.
Video games. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, hey, we like you, and we'd love you to get that Kinda Funny membership. Of course, with the Kinda Funny membership, you get all of our shows ad-free. You get the ability to watch our afternoon podcast live as we record them. You get the daily video/podcast series known as Gregway. Of course, no bucks tossed our way, no big deal. Watch all of our live programming, Twitch, YouTube, podcast services later. Of course, you get the ad, but hey, no big deal. If you want to be part of this show as we go, make your voices heard. Be part of history. It's simple. Use YouTube Super Chats. Over on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, you can Super Chat, be part of it with your questions, comments, concerns, and takes on the day's news. Housekeeping, remember, we are an 11-person business all about live talk shows. After Kinda Funny Games Daily today, you're going to get the Kinda Funny GAMESCAST, where I give you my review of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
I want to hit. Give me blink twice if it was good. Oh shit, he blinked twice.
Then the stream's going to be Elden Ring with Andy and Mike. If you're a Kinda Funny member, you can get today's Gregway, which goes from being serious of if you should start a GoFundMe for your wife, yes you should, to jovial, how do you wear Converse? I'll tell you, it's not as easy as you think. You get it all on today's Gregway. Of course, you can also get the happy hour today, right? The Kinda Funny happy hour is this afternoon. What that is if you are a $25 member on our Patreon, you can go and chat with us live. We do a live call-in show where we all hang out, talk to you. It is a great time. We do it each and every month, and we'd love to see you there this afternoon.
Can I go more off the rails?
Sure.
Sorry, this is me just getting distracted.
Let me just do... Thank you to our Patreon producers, Kieran Hovasapien, Carl Jacobs, Fargo Brady, and Delaney Twining. Today, Blessing's going back off the rails.
Somebody in chat said, I believe in Joe Hendry. And I know for
Does
you...
it mean anything to you?
Well, in the last week, yes.
Okay.
Because I've seen so many clips of Joe Hendry making the entrance, I think it was to like the NXT Royal Rumble or something?
Yeah, Battle Royale.
Battle Royale, yeah, where he like turns around and he's smiling. And the chat is like saying, I believe in Joe Hendry. I don't know what this guy is.
Superstar.
What is his deal? Does he just show up at random wrestling promotions?
Well, so he's an independent wrestler. He's over at TNA. But the idea with the indie scene is that, yeah, you can go anywhere and you do anything and you want to get your name out there and you're, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So... yeah, he can be anywhere. And so, but obviously jumping to NXT is a big deal. It's one of those that's been more rare as of late.
So, like, is he just part of NXT now, or is he like, no, I'm going to go?
So, TNA is still happening as an independent, as its own organization.
Yeah.
But they've begun this working relationship with WWE. And so, we've only really seen Jordan cross over, the women's champion from TNA, and do stuff over there.
Yeah.
So, it's been one of those, like, we didn't really know, but then there's been conversation that there's going to be more, and then Joe Hendry popped up, and everybody popped off.
His theme song is fire.
Yeah.
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 Going from Paris to Tokyo. Australia. I'm just naming places now. I don't know if there's
I was
a song.
Say, I don't remember that. I don't know the song well enough. Like I know I believe in Joe Hendry part, but yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Joe Hendry. I like that guy.
Yeah. Of course, today we're brought to you by the Kinda Funny Pride merch, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin this show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. Adams on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen!
We begin at IGN.com, where Alex Stedman has the continuing saga of Dr. Disrespect. Midnight Society ousts co-founder Dr. Disrespect in the wake of Twitch ban allegations. Last Friday, a former Twitch employee sent the gaming and streaming world into a frenzy by apparently revealing the reason popular streamer Guy Beam, known by most as Dr. Disrespect, was mysteriously banned from the platform in 2020. Now, the game studio Beam co-founded, Midnight Society, says it has terminated its relationship with him, effective immediately, in the wake of the allegation that Beam was banned from Twitch for his messages to a minor. Midnight Society announced the news via a post on Twitter on Monday saying they, quote, assumed, end quote, Beam's innocent and began speaking with parties involved. And in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of all individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we have employed, along with our community of players, the statement continues. Beam was live streaming Elden Ring around the time the statement dropped. After going largely silent for a few minutes, Beam ended the stream by saying he would be possibly taking a break after a, quote, planned vacation, adding he's feeling fatigued and burnt out. He also mentioned Midnight Society specifically, saying, quote, maybe I step away from there too, just completely remove myself from the scene. That's what I need to do, end quote. Beam issued a more formal response on Sunday, writing on Twitter, quote, listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the fucking internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found, and I was paid, end quote. Where do you want to start, Bliss?
I mean, there are so many places to jump into with this.
The guy who filmed in E3 wasn't a good man. The E3 bathroom?
And
not a good person?
Like, so much of the conversation I feel like has already happened over the weekend because this is breaking over the weekend, right? And like, I feel like yesterday, even as I was prepping Games Daily, I was having a conversation with Roger about like whether or not this constitutes as like gaming news in our sphere, because we don't really usually report on like streamer stuff, right? Like streamer drama. There's streamer drama every single day, and we never talk about it on Kind of Funny Games Daily. But yesterday, when it was his game studio is now cutting ties with him, and it has now entered our ecosystem in a way where I'm like, okay, well, now we kind of have to talk about
being on
this.
the fringe, yeah.
And I think a lot of the conversation that's already been had is like, did you do it? Do you not do it? I feel like it's pretty obvious that at the very least there's something damning going on here. And for me, the conversation has ended up in a place of looking at the responses, looking at the replies, which I know I probably shouldn't do on Twitter, but like I do it anyway because I'm just morbidly curious about what people are saying and all this. And I think my mind for what conversation we can and maybe should have here comes down to two things. I think one, there is a media literacy aspect of it where there are so many people coming to Dr. Disrespect's defense in a way that is very concerning as far as like, not only are there people internally at Twitch or formerly at Twitch who were like, hey, this is what happened. Not only did his game studio that he co-founded, they let off by saying, hey, we were siding with him on this until we did the digging and went, oh no, we can't do this. Like, we had to uphold ourselves with dignity and like act in this way in order to like uphold our values. And they're saying that they had to cut ties with him. I feel like all this points to the same place of, oh, Dr. Disrespect did something bad, right? Dr. Disrespect likely messaged these kids and he was trying to strike a chord or whatever it was, right? I think there's that aspect of it. But then on the other side, there's a part of me that I think wants to look at the fan base or look at the audience that maybe were fans of Dr. Disrespect or are fans of Dr. Disrespect and try to connect in some way and go, like, I've been in a place where my favorite artist or favorite streamer or favorite personality or whatever did something shitty, and I had to reconcile with that, right? I had to go, this person that I thought was one thing is actually a different thing. And like, I think we're in an era of the internet personalities, celebrities, whatever, where we're dealing with this over and over again. And like, there's just a disconnect as far as like how we're supposed to react to this sort of thing when you're somebody who's so deep into it, right? Like I can like, there are people that I, of course, like judge or whatever, because there are like diehard, like, oh man, my favorite, he would never do such a thing. He would never message a kid or whatever. But like, if you're somebody who grew up with Dr. Disrespect, I can see, like, I can understand a pain there as far as like not wanting to give that up. And I think there's a conversation there as far as like, you know, how do we deal with people that might not be able to let go, or how do we, like, I guess almost like rehabilitate people that like have a favorite that did something wrong and they don't know how to reconcile that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you're asking a question that I think reverberates far outside of our ecosystem, right? I've been having a long litany of conversations about this with both our peers, people here are kind of funny, people on the outside who are just hearing about this and talking about it, right? And for me, and again, Twitter reactions, comments on whatever, it's always difficult because, you know, what motivates you to leave these comments, of course, is being angry. That's what motivates anyone to leave any kind of comment, right? So on the Midnight Society, I want to call them 12 a.m. every time. The Midnight Society. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Thank you. I was like, why do I have that on the brain? On Midnight Society's tweet, where again, I think they do a great job of presenting their case of, hey, we wanted to believe in him. We did some digging. We don't think this is it, right? I think you look at that, and that's as clear as you could do a statement that says exactly what's going on. And again, I think they do a great job of like, hey, we don't want to say this. You don't want to hear it. We understand it. But then the responses underneath it that are trying to equate this to, well, where's the evidence? Oh man, this is cancel culture. Oh man, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you parroting back this, but not understanding that these people actually have the one-to-one connections? These are the people who could actually go and talk to someone, I assume. You'd hope Dr. Disrespect. I would assume Twitch in general, or somebody who has knowledge of whatever actually happened over there, and piece this together to go, cool, this isn't how we want to be represented. And the dogged determination of the diehard fans here, a lot of D words there, to defend Dr. Disrespect, more D words, is so scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It brings me back to like The Boys. It's spoilers for like the last season of The Boys, but it's not a big spoiler, right? Where like Homelander lasers off of dude's face, right?
Yeah,
Just out of a reaction.
And they cheer, right?
Yeah, out of anger. And like people after that, there's like a pause and then people cheer. And it's like this person is doing wrong in front of you, right? Yeah. Your idol just did a wrong thing in front of you, and you don't have it in you to go or to confront that. Like, I think the thing is, like, I'm not coming from a place of anger with those people. It's more of a place of sadness of like, how far have we come?
I mean,
that we can't turn around and go condemn this person.
To turn it all the way back to where I was driving originally when I'm talking about this echoing way outside, right? And me talking to people outside of it, it is so in line with Trump.
Yeah.
It is so in line with everything you see from the Trump fan base that no matter how many things you can present of the jury convicted him. What about he said this, that. They just refuse to believe the facts put in front of them. And I understand that for this Dr. Disrespect thing, it's a little bit different because we're dealing with, I would assume, a younger audience. We are dealing with the fact that there hasn't been a criminal case or whatever the fuck you want to put out there to do this. But like, all the math is being put on the board and it's all adding up. The chat called out and put it out or whatever. IGN just put up an article literally as we went live from Rebecca Valentine. Turtle Beach ends partnership with Dr. Disrespect following Twitch ban allegations. Gaming headset and accessory company Turtle Beach has ended a long-time partnership with popular streamer Guy Beam, known as Dr. Disrespect, following allegations that his ban from the Twitch platform in 2020 was due to inappropriate messages sent to a minor. The company sent the following statement to IGN in response to a request for comment on its relationship with the streamer in the wake of allegations. Quote, "We will not be continuing our partnership with Guy Beam / Dr. Disrespect," end quote. Turtle Beach did not provide further comment. This goes on that multi-year deal since 2020, RoCat, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. But back to all this of where we were with the conversation, right? Like, it is this idea, and like, I don't think we have that fan base. But to be clear to everyone out there, that if and I'm not a bad person, if I was ever accused of something horrendous, and you saw everyone at Kind of Funny distance themselves from me, that wouldn't, that's not a conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? Like that's like, especially if it was that. It'd be, okay, I make one of my dumb jokes on the show and a sponsor doesn't like that, so they leave, or like, that's a different ball of wax to, I'm suddenly not at the company anymore. And there's a statement from all of you. Yeah. Like, we looked into the allegations against Greg and holy shit, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, whatever the agreements and legals and yada, da, 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 you can read between the lines and know that. And again,
and that's even a thing of, just read the tea leaves, right? Like, I respect the stance of, I want to wait until whatever evidence comes out. I want to, before I make like my final judgments on a person. I think that's totally fine. But there's an element of like, one, read the tea leaves of what's going on around that person when everybody's distancing themselves from them, including the company they co-founded. And then also, you don't need to defend that person, right? Like, you don't know Dr. Disrespect. You don't know, a lot of you don't know Greg Miller personally. A lot of you actually do. But like, yeah, if it was the thing where all of us started to distance ourselves from Greg Miller, or everybody started to distance themselves from me around the company, right? And like, things came out about that. You don't need to defend Greg Miller. You don't need to defend me. Like, you don't personally know us as people. And then that is the wait and see of, all right, cool. I'm not going to catch judgment. Let me wait and see until all this information comes out before I start to defend or like try to make arguments about, no, this person's actually a good person, because you don't know the person who's behind the screen.
Yeah. And I think, again, it's the narrative that feeds itself, where I would imagine most of the people who are out there defending Doc Disrespect are the same people who are constantly screaming about cancel culture and how they're being persecuted and how this is, all these things that I think are patently false in so many different ways, right? So then to have this happen and have, like, let's also talk about, like, and I don't mean to paint with a broad brush, but like the way Kinda Funny works and the way in Greg Miller as an internet personality works is, right, that I fuck up all the time. Mm-hmm. And when I fuck up, I sit there with my actions and decide, did I fuck up or did I not? How do I want to handle it? What do I want to do? Blah, blah. And it's a conversation with the audience. And so, okay, sure, there's all this, Dr. Disrespect. There's they signed NDAs. The statement we read from this article is much better than the original statement, which was like, no wrongdoing was found or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you trying to, like, that's one thing. But then to have it be that it breaks on air and then you launched into this, I was getting ready for a vacation anyway. And I'm burned out. I'm doing this. I might even leave Midnight Society when the news is out and you've been let go from it. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, this isn't cancel culture. Cancel culture, I still to this day does not believe. To this day, I believe cancel culture doesn't exist. Cancel culture, when I was growing up, was called the consequence of your actions. And so I'm allowed to come out here right now, and I'm allowed to say, I think this is so similar to Trump. I don't think you should vote for Trump in the presidential election, right? Mm. And if there's a huge blowback from the audience that says, I can't be here and I don't want to support this and I understand that. That is then you leaving. That's not me screaming, wow, this is cancel culture. I can't say anything. Freedom of speech doesn't exist. No, motherfucker, this is freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to say what you think. I'm allowed to say what I think. And if you don't agree with me and that's enough for you to be like, I don't want to support you on Patreon. I don't want to do this. I don't want to watch the show. More power to you. I respect that. Vote with your wallet. Vote with your time. Go and do your own thing, right? But to sit here and be like, but they're being persecuted and you can't say this. You know what I mean? You can't, you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? How is this? How are these same conversations continuing? And how are audiences that are not our audience, 1,000% not our audience, but audiences on the internet being fed this fucking pool of lies that they continue to go to and think about the fact that, oh my God, well, Nick Merckx can't insult fucking trans people. Freedom of speech is dead. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trans lives matter. Protect trans kids. What are we talking about? Yeah. Like, this isn't fucking hard. Let human beings be human beings. And when people are like, well, I don't want to support Nick Merckx anymore. He's not allowed to have an opinion? No, he can have a fucking opinion, and I can have a fucking opinion too, and he's a dirtbag, and I don't want to be around this anymore.
Yeah.
It makes me so angry and so riled up, and it comes back to the same thing of like, I guess, again, this isn't a pat on the back. It's going to sound like I'm trying to get myself, but I guess to exist doing this in front of a camera for as long as I have, for 17 years, will include, beyond and writing articles and everything else, right? It's just the fact that everything I say and do, I understand has some weight to it. And again, when I fuck up or somebody calls me out and they ask me to do something to make it easier for them or their group or whatever, it's like, oh man, what a great point. Or maybe it isn't, and I don't agree with it. And I don't take that piece of credit. But like, this is such a relationship that I look at this and I'm like, how can you be this big and fuck it up this badly?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what? And then for your fallback to constantly be like, listen, I got paid. I got fucking paid. Oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people get paid when they settle out of court for, not having to go do whatever the fuck they needed to do. But like, what the fuck is going on here? Who's to say? But it is more disappointing to see the way the internet reacts. Yeah. And again, I know this is not limited to Dr. Disrespect fans. I know this isn't limited to video games, but just the overwhelming disbelief of evidence. that it just doesn't matter anymore. That you can present something and be like, here, it's clear as day. This is not clear as day necessarily in this case, but like something's going on and be like, fuck you, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I believe the guy in the shades and the fake wig more than all this other people. And I mean, again, Midnight Society does such a great job of boiling their message down in the exact same way I think we do it Kind of Funny. Hey, there are 55 developers here. That is a small team, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. That is a small team trying to make a video game. And they hitched their wagon to somebody who had a big a profile, and now that profile is completely tarnished. You assume, I assume, not going to rebound from this, and if it does, not have the audience they want.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to do this. And like, guess what? The game is fucking dead, probably.
On top of that, right? Like, if they miraculously get to a place where they finally release a game or the game they're working on, that's going to be met with probably so much vitriol from the audience that are the Dr. Disrespect super fans that go and like that way outweigh the Midnight Society super fans, right? Because Dr. Disrespect was the personality bringing people in. All those people are going to look at that game and probably review bomb it and be like, oh, fuck this. Like we're not supporting this. Oh, you guys went against Dr. Disrespect. Even if the Dr. Disrespect stuff, even if the like proof or whatever comes out and like 100% is solidified of, oh, he is guilty, that is not going to stop people from not supporting that man, right? And I think that's where I come back to, one, the scary aspect of where like I guess personality worship has settled in terms of the 2024 internet and just public consciousness, but then also the media literacy aspect of it, what we're talking about, where it is, all right, we've seen Midnight Society separating themselves, we've seen Twitch let him go. We've seen now, what was it, Turtle Beach that has terminated their contract with them. We're seeing all these different things, all these different dominoes fall, and people still don't want to read the tea leaves, and at the very least not stop defending him, right? They're still going to jump and defend him. That alone is like a damn, like we really got to do better at educating people how to like fucking read tea leaves. But then, I think to your point, and you made a lot of points, right? Like to one of your, to one of your points in there, right? Like it comes back to when this is a separate thing, but when I like go online and I'm compiling news for KFGD and like I'll see people, I can't remember the latest one. There was like one recently where somebody's talking about they're reporting on a thing and they were referencing like their sources. It might have been related to Dr. Disrespect, but they're talking about their sources and people are like, oh, so you're just making this up? What do you mean that you have sources? Oh, it's like, bro, that's how journalism works. Like that's how this all works, and people still find ways to miss the point. I don't know if it's something wrong with our education system. I know our education system in a lot of ways is fucked, but like I don't know if it's just that. I don't know if it is we got to teach people not to identify so strongly with the people that they listen to on podcasts or watch on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, and that is me including us in this, right? Like
parasocial relationships is a thing a lot of people are looking into, right?
Yeah.
And how they feel about it and how it can affect you.
Yeah, but like there's a list of things that made me go, oh man, we're so cooked. Like we're so fucked in terms of how the reaction has been to all of this. But I do feel so much for Midnight Society as far as that. Like I'm glad they did the due diligence. I forget when the studio was founded, like what year they came up, but like if it was like post 2020, I'm surprised that they made that deal in the first place. I get that Dr. Disrespect is a man
founded 2021.
2021. I get Dr. Disrespect is a man that had so much power and money and like so much visibility, and like that is a slam dunk if you connect yourself with a personality of that caliber. But I feel like that around that time, the tea leaves as a studio being founded under him, I think going in there that is somewhat of a risk. And like I'm sorry that it panned out this way, right? But again, good on them for going, oh, we got to separate. We got to make the statement, probably knowing that is probably going to lead to the end of that studio in the next couple of years. You imagine, if not way sooner than that.
I don't know. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know.
Maybe next couple months. Like we'll see.
It's like I'm not at all the Midnight Society. It's a vertical extraction shooter, right? I remember when they did the beta. And chat, please feel free to jump in and tell me stuff. And super chats obviously have been coming in, and we'll do all this different stuff. I forget if the game's not out. They've done a beta, and I thought it was possibly done well. I don't know. I thought people liked it. I can't remember if people liked it or not. Or whatever.
I think I remember something about like NFT integration.
Yeah, I remember that, but I remember I can't. Rocker says started as NFT game. Did it move away from that, or is it still there?
I mean, at this point, hopefully they moved away.
My whole thing is I just feel like
really doing
it's probably a quagmire to begin with of where that game's at and what it's been doing. So if you ever see that game, I doubt you ever see that game.
Yeah.
Which, again, were you ever going to see it before? I'd imagine probably if you have Dr. Disrespect, you have that dedicated of an audience behind him that he could say, hey, this game's out and play it with me and do the thing. Yeah, you'd probably sell it and move it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you lose that fan base. Not only do you lose that fan base, you make an enemy out of that fan base who now, to your point, are going to review bomb it and only talk shit about it, yada, yada. I imagine, again, okay, FTL says, last I saw pre-alpha, very rough, obviously.
That's what I feel. Yeah, like I'm remembering back to like footage we saw of it. I forget if it was just like a reveal trailer or some kind of pre-alpha. I remember it looking rough, but also it's like super early, and so it's really tough to judge at that state. But it wasn't a thing that I looked at and was excited for, and I don't recall that many people outside of like Dr. Disrespect fans like being like, "Oh, this is the one! Like this is the one that we're all excited for."
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, I don't know. I think in the first place, even if it was to come out, I wouldn't have expected it to be the next Call of Duty or whatever they're pitching it to be.
Yeah,
but now it definitely won't be.
Yeah, what that ends up, we'll have to wait and see or whatever. No. I'm looking into super chats here. A lot have come in. Okay, Cozy Bear is advertising he's returning to Happy Hour today. That's great. Only special feature says, we love you, Cozy Bear. He's got a great question you want to miss. Only special features, I believe. Bad Bunny has a song called Booker T. Great. This is for, I'm trying to get to, okay, here. Spider says 3 companies, including the one he co-founded, chose to cut ties with him. Pretty sure they'd lose money by doing so. Not illegal is not the same as not damning. And that's the other part of it. Again, we don't know, blah, 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 reading into it. One of the ones I thought was interesting in terms of a tweet that I haven't looked into in any way, shape, or form in terms of the actual legality of it. But it was an interesting one. It was like, hey, reminder that age of consent laws aren't so that a 30-year-old, and I'm talking broadly, can date a 16-year-old in whatever state they're in. Mm-hmm. They're so that 2 16-year-olds can have sex and not go to jail for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not meant to be this get out of jail free card, they're an adult thing. Like, it is your consent, but that doesn't matter if that is, again, like different for what it is, you know.
Yeah.
On it. So we're on a 4-4. Cam says Greggy has to drop a Not Like Us remix against these weirdos. I don't think I'll be doing that. Mara says,
put me in a booth.
Can we please get Greg defending trans rights clipped out? Appreciate you guys. Heart. No problem. George Corona III says Greg is going off, dropping truth. Proud to be a member today, even with his perplexing love of Starfield. Starfield's a great game. Don't worry about that.
Great.
Alexander says, is the Dr. Disrespect situation similar to Colin and Kinda Funny? I don't think so. I don't remember a point where Colin got news on a Twitter and was like, I'm gonna take a vacation for Kinda Funny. Nor did Colin left Kinda Funny. We didn't tweet out Colin, we're cutting ties with Colin or whatever. And that's not how that situation went at all. We all hugged on a show when he left. And then obviously we've all talked about it at length since then. Sydney says, hey Greg, thanks for being blunt with your left-wing leanings. I work in tech, but my Puerto Rican coworker is a toxic masculine Trump supporter. I don't know if I helped turn him around. I don't know if I did anything there, but again, this is what I'm talking about, is the fact that you have to own all of this. If we're going to exist on the internet, everything we've done on the internet exists on the internet. You have a conversation, we're going to be a part of this, and that's what's going to happen. And so, like, it's one of those things where it's so hard I don't want to just get into the weeds with the Dr. Disrespect thing, right?
Yeah.
But I so can't fucking stand people in our space who want to hide behind something. Like, whatever, say what you got to fucking say. That's what you're there to do. That's what it is. And when the times get tough and you're going to then take a vacation, come on. You know what I mean? Come on. And again, if you have nothing to hide, I'm not saying, again, like, I'm not trying to be the opposite of this. So many people are like, the evidence in the angry way of like, you can't remove him from a company and do this stuff if you don't have evidence. Like, I don't think we need that evidence. That's, you know what I mean? Because again, we are also talking about, if there's been something that's gone wrong here, there's another party involved who is a victim, you would, by definition, right? So I don't need that as much. But it is the other thing of like, back to it. Cancel culture doesn't exist. It is the consequence of your actions. And if when you are called out for your actions, your response is, I was going to take a vacation anyway. I'm burned out. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's for him to reckon with, right? Like, again, I'm so outside of the I'm so outside of the Dr. Disrespect sphere.
Yeah,
of,
me
like,
too. Me too. And that's the thing. Yeah, right.
And I'm like, cool. Do whatever the fuck you're gonna do. Deal with your shit. Like, take a break. I don't give a fuck. Shit doesn't look good for you, but do your thing. As far as the cancel culture aspect of it, right? And like, I'm with you as far as like, there is what you say and there is a reaction to what you say, and I think a lot of that is enhanced by internet. A lot of that is enhanced now by like people having histories on the internet, and like you can go and search people's tweets from however long ago, and like, you know, people, that stuff will get brought up. And I think there's a whole conversation around that, and like how some of that is it okay, is it not okay, like when does it become too much? Like, I'm down for that conversation, right? But yeah, I think as far as the conversation of, oh man, like they're trying to get Dr. Disrespect out of here because yada yada yada. It's like, nah, man, people are just having a reaction to like seeing a thing being revealed about a person. If I don't know, I feel like this I feel like it's so common sense that it feels weird to even just talk about it in that sense. But like, yeah, if a celebrity or like a personality is revealed to be texting children or messaging children through Twitch whispers and trying to meet up with them at TwitchCon, yeah, I should be able to go, oh man, don't want to support that person. That person is somebody who I want to distance myself from. Like, I think for me, that's just common sense. And for like the businesses that are separating themselves from them, it's so common sense.
And I think that's back to my thing, is that this is a common sense argument.
Yeah.
I think you can look at so many of our peers in our space who have been called out for offensive tweets they did as college students, as younger content creators, right? And that are still here and still have a booming career.
Yeah.
Why? Because they got called out for that and they were like, yeah, I was a dumb fuck kid. Yeah, I didn't understand X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Or I'm Greg Miller. I've existed doing this for 17 years. You can go read my IGN reviews, and there are, oh my God, ridiculously heinous things I put in leads and things like. And if you brought them up to me now, we would have a long conversation about it, just like this. Of like, yeah, I was trying to get a joke over with the thing. I was encouraged. That's what. I mean, there's not excuses, reasons, and I would then tell you, what I back and what I don't back, and yada yada. And then it would be up to you to decide if the lead I had in whatever GameX PSP review affects your opinion of me now, to the point when, again, I think the whole point of this is that 17 years later, I should not be the same person. 17 years later, I should have met and gone to enough places and experienced enough cultures and expanded my own mind that I can look back on my stuff objectively and be like, yeah, that was offensive and stupid.
For the record, there's also the other side of people that double down on those shitty things, and guess what? Their views skyrocketed. But again, they became grifters, and we're like, shit, I'm making the more money than I've ever made before because I have found an audience that for some reason will follow the shitty things that I'm saying because I'm speaking to either the anti-cancel culture people, or I'm speaking to a right-wing crowd of people, or like far-right crowd of people, right? Like, it's so crazy how, it goes the other way a lot of times, and it's the opposite of what we call cancel culture, right? Like, usually...
but they'll still say it's cancel culture.
They'll still say it's cancel culture.
I've been ostracized, but I'm still bigger than ever.
The biggest victims of cancel culture are making more money than they ever have before. Dr. Disrespect is going to come out of this probably, that's a great, interesting question. He's probably going to come back, probably maybe take a little bit of a break, maybe take a 3-month break, come back, start streaming. Guess what? His audience is gonna go, we missed you. Here's a bunch of subs. Here's here's all of us returning for the return of Dr. Like, he's probably gonna come out of this making way more money than before, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
And that's like, again, this comes back to the scary thing about all this, and where I'm at from the beginning of this, which is like, how do we rehabilitate these people? Like, how do we reach these people? Is there any reaching these people? The sad answer might be no. Like, the sad answer might be, this is just the way the world works, and we just gotta roll with it. But yeah, that makes me extremely sad. Like, that breaks my heart. But yeah, like, that's just, it's the way that it seems like things just are.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what to do.
I mean, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing we can do. You talk, and I think even like the positive audience we have, right? Because again, I'm sure many of you have been here a long time, but the message has always been, right? Like, if you're an asshole, we don't want your money. We don't want your view. You don't need to be here, right? Because we're understanding what a community is and what we want our community to be and how we prune the community to be what it needs to be here. And we say things. And again, I say things every day. I make jokes every day that I'm sure people go, oh my God, I'm fucking out of here. And they never come back. That again is building something, because you can't make something for everybody. That'll never work. You need to make something that you want to be making and that'll make you happy and do whatever. And so you can do that and try to foster a positive community like we do, or you can go off and do exactly what you're talking about, where, you can keep feeding the trolls and keep giving into the narrative of cancel culture and this, that, the other, and I've been pushed out and it was blah, blah. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? Again, like, there's never a way for me to put myself in these kind of situations, because I wouldn't put myself in these kinds of situations. But again, like, my reaction, of course, to if I had made such an error and lapse in judgment would be to own it and talk about it and atone for it and figure it out and go through that. Mm-hmm. The easier way is to fuck off, come back with a narrative that, oh man, everybody's wrong, I'm right. Yeah. You guys are the true believers for following me.
They went after Greg Miller because he was white and a man.
And I won't lie, like, I have been noticing The walls are closing in on me, bless. You know what I mean? There's fewer and fewer of me on the internet.
I can't wait to be CEO. It's gonna happen.
Thank you all for hanging out for a very lively conversation.
Thanks for having this conversation. I put this story number one because I don't know what else we're gonna have as a conversation for story number one.
Dude, this is the whole fucking point of what we do. And again, and I think, I've seen the people who are mad in the chat as well, of course, but there's the overwhelming people listening and having a conversation. That's the fucking point of this, is again that I know everything I just said will probably sound like this is contradictory. I don't claim to have it all figured out. We are a podcast, we are a live talk show, we are talking this out with you. And so it is that idea of if you want to, there's, again, cancel culture, everything's binary, right? When people want to talk about anything now.
Of course.
I loved it, I hate it, on, off, whatever it is. I would like to believe there's people that are not so far gone as to think every conspiracy theory and everything else. And I doubt we have those kind of fans. But if there are the fans who are a little bit more one way or the other, I hope they're well, they're making an educated enough argument. They're doing this thing. And I know that one of the knocks people love to throw it kind of funny is that, it's too homogenous. Everybody's got the same opinion, blah, blah, which is not true. I would never fucking touch Elden Ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get it that we all are all on the same page of yeah, we kind of respect people. I want people to be able to live freely and not be persecuted and be able to be in love and get fucking healthcare if they're a woman and maybe do.
It's also weird because I know there's the Kind of Funny podcast where you guys have non-video game conversations. So many of the conversations that I guess I have on content with y'all are just about video games. And so when we're talking about homogenous opinions and all these things, right? If you want to talk about the cultures that we come from, right? I'm a first generation American whose family is Nigerian and I grew up in the Midwest. Roger's from Long Island, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he's also first generation. Andy's from Texas. You're a white man from the Midwest. Tim is from San Francisco.
My life's been pretty great.
Yeah, and we all come from different places. I think if me and you sat down here and talked about politics for an hour and just about politics and our views on different things, I'm sure we're going to come to so many crossroads where it's oh, I think this thing, you think that thing. And hopefully we come to a place where it's all right, cool. Either agree to disagree or, hey, I respect your opinion on that, even though I think differently, right? The homogenous opinion thing always confused me because I think a lot of it comes from, but they all live in San Francisco. It's bro, I moved to San Francisco so I could work this job, right? Before this, I lived in Seattle, and before that, I grew up in the Midwest and partly in Nigeria. I don't know. On a pig farm. Not literally on a pig farm, but I don't know how we can get more varied, aside from adding more women, obviously, which is always kind of the thing, right? But I think we do come from so many different cultures and areas, and I think the fact that we all come down to the same place of I don't know, man. We believe in trans people. We believe in Black Lives Matter. I think that for the most part. I'm not asking everybody. I'm not pulling everybody in the office and be yo, do you believe?
I think everybody believes
Nick,
Black Lives Matter.
Do you believe that Black Lives Matter, Nick?
I like how you said we believe in trans people as if they're ghosts.
Yeah, right. We believe trans lives matter or whatever, right? I think we come down on a lot of those same things, but I think so much of that is just from a humanity perspective, not necessarily we are all from the West Coast and West Coast elites, and we all make,
Again, it's back to binary. It's back to a throwaway comment somebody wants to make in the the Twitch or on Twitter, right? That it's not representing how they feel, and we're also probably calling them out for what we think are bigoted beliefs in that way. Yeah. And that makes people recoil and get angry and want to throw something back that we're all the same when... Come on now, you're not playing Fallout 76.
No, fuck that.
JD Silva has a super chat and says, poor media literacy has led people to believe they can question everything and that their opinion can outweigh the findings of an expert. That is true. Remember COVID? Nathaniel super chatted and said, thanks for the reminder. Man, we are fucked this election year. Both options suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough one out there. You know what I mean?
At this point, it's obviously I got opinions about the election.
We're voting for Biden. We're not stoked about it.
Listen,
again, we're voting for. Now you can vote however you want, but just remember, one of these people is going to become president and forgive a bunch of people that did a bunch of illegal things and make sure to set his life, however much longer he's going to live, up real well. You know what I mean?
I just don't. I just hate it. I just hate so much of what Joe Biden has done as far as supporting Israel.
Yeah, but you have to remember what Trump has done.
When is the third party going to rise, Kevin?
It's not this year.
When is the third party going to rise?
It's not this year.
We can start working on that for 2 elections from now. But it's not happening now, and you have to remember what Trump did about moving the
October 6th?
Well, the U.S. Embassy. He moved it to Jerusalem and stuff. Like, that is...
You're right. Like, the thing is, like...
let's not forget, like, Trump, would he be handling this situation better?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing is, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. But I'm just sad. I'm just sad about the country.
I know. Well, there's gonna be a lot of, I'm sure, conversations here about voting as we get closer. Cole, why'd you just run and start Barrett's in the dark? Joey Ratstone says, great discussion, guys. Glad to be part of this community. Glad to have you. Alexander says, the late, great Ryan Davis once made an F-slur joke on stream and immediately recoiled at himself and made a big post about it. He was a great example. Yeah, I hope, obviously, Ryan Davis, obviously, rest in peace. That's the way to handle any of this, right? Like, I think, again, we're all humans. You all make mistakes. We all say stupid things or do whatever. And like, what do you believe is a different conversation. I'm not at all I don't know the reference you're making. I understand what I've read. But it is that idea of like, again, yeah, I can walk you through the dozens of things I've done and I hope talked about on a show at some point or apologize at some point or explain somewhere. You know what I mean? Of like things I've done and regret. And especially looking back now, you know what I mean? As a 41-year-old versus a 26-year-old, 28-year-old or whatever it was. Yeah. Not that justifies anything, but again, life experiences and as it goes. Tony says, I prefer Kind of Funny when they have convicted opinions and speak authentically. This is awesome, and I support more of it. Well, thank you so much. There's only Chaos 15. Please talk about the genocide in Palestine. A charity stream would be dope. I think the team does a great job of talking about that. Again, in the middle of a GAMESCAST, in the middle of a Kind of Funny Games Daily? No, of course not. But I think the struggle we have as Kind of Funny is with the amount of content we put out. The fact that I've been called out so many times of, oh, you never do X, Y, and I'm like, no, I do that over here. Well, I don't watch that show. And it's like, well, okay, you're looking through a keyhole. And so in the way we exist on the internet, and tell me at any point if you think I'm speaking out of turn or wrong here, I think you have to take it for the entirety of the orange rather than one sliver here, one sliver there. Like, you've been incredibly vocal about Palestine. Andy has as well. I see the Instagram posts. I see the tweets. I've shared stuff, not as much, I think, as you guys, but I do when I'm on. I'm just online less or whatever. But I've shared TAM stuff. And again, like, I think it goes back to when 2020, it was work from home, 2021, when there was we did the Palestine streams.
TAM on or like...
Yeah, and there was a Palestine streams and we had TAM on and we talked about all of that. Like, for me, it's the same conversation as, and this is maybe of a fault to me, but we can discuss that. It's the same conversation that I believe trans lives matter. I believe, equal rights. I believe that, Palestine should be free. I don't think I need to open every show and say all of that all the time, right? You know what I mean? In terms of how do you get through and do this and like when is the right place and what isn't, and like the horrors that we've been seeing in Palestine, right? Like, when it popped off in October and then continued on. And don't get me wrong, I don't support Hamas and I don't support the attack on Israel in October. There's multiple things happening. It's not on, off, black, white. It's not that kind of situation. But it was back to that thing of like, okay, well, fuck, what the fuck can I do about that? If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is just that we make so much content and a lot of it gets lost as far as like, if you're trying to keep up with the like, whatever conversation's happening, right? Like so much of our content is video games focused, but then also, like when we do have a conversation about Palestine and we upload 30 videos in a week, right? Like it's very easy to miss when that happens. And it's tough to open every episode of KFGD and be like, hey, like we support Palestine. All right, let's get into talking about news. If you go over to like my Instagram right now, I'm pretty sure at the top of my Instagram is a link to like, I think it is Timur's fundraiser.
Tam's doing so much great stuff.
Tam, like that's the thing is like, so much of the stuff I try to do personally is amplifying the people who are better informed or in the know. Because like my other thing with it is that I am self-admittedly I am an idiot when it comes to so many things, and this is one of those things where like I know where I stand in my heart as far as like how much I hate colonization and how much I hate like how much that I want to like support the humanity of like people in Palestine are being persecuted and bombed and all this shit, right? And like I will try like. I'll do my best to amplify the voices that are talking about this and also assist the voices. Like there are things that I've done for friends outside of the scope of like Kind of Funny who I just have friends that have supported that stuff on the side, right? We're all assist them. That stuff doesn't necessarily come out on content either. I think it's a difficult balance as far as like putting that front and center. And also like, I don't think it needs to be the thing for us of we are going to let you know every single thing we do for like supporting a cause because we want you to know. I think it's more so we want to do the right thing. And so like, I think one of the things that can frustrate me, and this isn't like even like a Palestine thing, right? But this is just like for causes in general. I don't need to see every single thing you're doing, especially if you're doing things behind the scenes, right? And so like, I don't know. I think a lot of that stuff can come off as like they're talking the talk and not walking the walk. I'm more concerned with, are we walking the walk?
Yeah.
And I think we do, right? I'm not checking up with every single person that kind of funny, but
well, it's not your job. You know what I mean? That's nobody's job, right?
Yeah.
And that is the idea here that, again, like, you know, I think you see it go through the Twitch chat and I think on the YouTube chat too, right? But the automated message of like what we believe here, right? And that's doing it. And that's what we're trying to live by. And that's what we're trying to do. And it is that idea of like, this is a great example of like the power of Kind of Funny. This is story number 1, and we are 54 minutes into the show, and we're gonna have to just.
We somehow got into a topic about Palestine.
Exactly. What I mean, and that's the thing of like, I don't think that naturally happens on most shows. When we fucking review Luigi's Mansion next, I'm not gonna be in the middle of that. Be like, also, you know what? I want to talk about Biden. Like, that's not how this all works. But it is a natural conversation. This is a chance to sit there and say that and do that. But again, like. That's the kind of group we've built and the kind of company we've built and the kind of thing we're trying to be is the people who walk the walk.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really easy for all the fucking haters out there to want to throw stones and get into the whataboutism and do this kind of thing. It's like, cool. Like there's an audience clearly that is with us and it's growing and it's doing this and they understand what we're going for here.
Yeah.
Let me get these other super chats out. Okay. They're all here. We're having today on a very serious episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily.
Not even gotten to ads yet.
It's our ad.
Oh, you're right.
So I think we can just insert that wherever. We'll tell Cool Greg. Or, you know what? We can just do it right here if you want. Let me do the super chats. Yeah. We'll tag it at the end since we don't have to worry about it. And then we'll move on to lightning round, I guess, of other news stories. Brain13 says the options don't matter. Biden's greater than fascists. Correct. Cam says either candidate will support genocide. Vote on local issues, but don't vote on.
I guess that's more so. That's more so where I'm coming from, where it's like not even that Joe Biden isn't like a better option than Trump. I think both options just fucking suck so bad that I am not like held up about the presidential election this year. I think I am more so like, where can I vote where I feel like I am making more of a difference at the very least, even if it is on the local level or on the state level or whatever, right? Like I feel like voting for Biden and Trump, I look at both and I'm like, well, we're fucked. Like, I'm so not passionate about.
I think we will be super fucked.
Not that I need to be passionate about Joe Biden, but like, it's like, come on, man.
That's the biggest problem is that I think Trump will be a disaster and will be horrible and will really fuck up democracy. Like, I think it's one of those, like, I don't want to be out on that limb of it and be that crazy, and I'm not putting on tinfoil hat. But when I say if he wins, it might be the last election you vote in, like that, I don't fully believe it, but I also can see it kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'm not.
Let's not forget, in some states right now, you can't get an abortion. Or you can, but like very, very limited. And everyone said there was no way that could be overturned. That's the law of the land.
Yep.
And several Supreme Court appointees appointed by Trump overturned it.
And that's my thing, is I think it's hard to be excited for Biden. Like, I don't have, again.
And
like,
not even that you need to be excited.
In 2020,
like,
I was very vocal about voting for Biden, right? And it was because I'm so anti-Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't changed, but it's also the thing of like, Rachel Maddow did a whole thing last night or 2 nights ago where she ran through like the economy actually is like this, and this is unemployment rate. Everything, like, things are actually great under this Biden administration, but his terrible fucking response to Israel-Palestine has fucked it up so much on the doorstep of the election.
Yeah.
And so really it has to be that thing. And I know that I hate saying this, but beyond Israel-Palestine, what don't you, and I'm not actually asking you,
Sure.
what don't you like about Biden? Because it's like beyond the abortion thing with Trump, I can just start fucking naming the things that I really don't like and don't trust and don't believe will go well under him.
Yeah.
And so I know that is a fucking horrible thing to be like, well, if you can forget about the genocide when you go to the ballot box,
forget about all
that
the people
we're supplying
dying.
the fucking weapons. You know what I mean? Like, we're not trying to get in there, but it's like, that is it. And like, what a shitty fucking message for me to be like, now go vote for Biden, everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, that's a hard one to try to push like I did in 2020.
Yeah.
But we digress.
At the end of the day, 50 to 100,000 people are going to decide who's president. And like, the more that we all vote, the less that's the that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, so you got to vote. Yeah, but the popular vote, right?
Buried in the background.
It doesn't matter, I know, but it's like, hey, it looks good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the stats on it. Alexander says you should do the political compass tests. I don't know what that is, and I will not learn. Oh my gosh, there's so many super chats.
We don't promise to read all the super chats.
Huh?
We don't promise to read every single
No,
super
we
chat.
don't. I don't. But I was just, every time I was like, I'll just get through them. There was one left, and now there's like so many more here or whatever. Let's see if anybody wants to be horrible to us, because I feel like we've done so much. No, that's positive to us. That's positive to us.
I will say, New Mateo here says being pessimistic about the election is how Trump won 2016 in the first place. But I also think that like being pessimistic about the election, how can you not? Right? Like, look at where we're at.
As long as we encourage to everyone go vote, then we've done as much as we can. You know what I mean? And like that's the reality of like, yes, both candidates suck. One sucks more, and like it sucks that's how we have to vote. Two-party system, that's what it ends up coming down to, of like, this is what we've created for ourselves, you know?
And here's the thing. I agree ultimately with you guys when it comes to like these details of the Biden presidency versus the Trump presidency. A lot of it, I think for me, in terms of like my emotional aspect of it, just comes from so many people have fucking died in Palestine. Where it's like, when we're talking about these many bodies, for me, it's like these other issues come into play, and I'm like, yeah, but look at the amount of bodies. Like those bodies for me supersede so many other of these issues. But you're right. Like if when we go down the line of like abortion rights, right? Like all these different things that we can list as far as like the other issues in the world. Yeah, like you're right. Like we should vote for Biden.
Yeah,
I just hate saying it.
I hear you. I wish there was a, you go, man, we're into a political thing all over.
Yeah, we're back in it.
Not that I'm against it. I just wish there was I wish I was inspired by either candidate.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, again, that love them, hate them, whatever. The Trump supporters are inspired by this person. And I don't get it. And he's an asshole, but he's my asshole. Like, wow, that's fucking crazy. But that leads us right back to the Doctor of Disrespect fans.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy conversations like these, if you like being a Kind of Funny best friend, if you think we're doing a great job, of course, we'd love you to support us with that Kind of Funny membership. For $10, you get all of our shows ad-free, and of course, you get a bevy of other bonuses, like the Kind of Funny happy hour you could come see today. I guess that's technically 25, but you understand. For now, though, you're not using your ad-free benefits, so here's a word from our sponsor.
We're celebrating Pride Month with a brand new drop designed by Kind of Funny best friend, Cameron French. We have tank tops, t-shirts, crew necks, and more. So whether you're going to the beach or the mountains this summer, we've got you covered. And we're donating a portion of sales to two incredible organizations, Queer Life Space and Denver-based Center on Colfax. Head over to kindoffunny.com/store before the month ends.
Also, and we're back.
I do want to. Ooh, we got a little thing in the. Oh, is that Joe Henry?
Say his name and he appears.
He appeared.
I believe.
Last thing I do want to say, because I think people in chat have the impression that I'm going to either vote for Trump or not vote. I am going to vote for Biden, likely. Like most, that is like my
likely. Come on, bless.
No, I plan to vote for Biden. I will do way more research before I get there. We have until November, right? But like, this is me saying either don't vote or vote for Trump. This is me just saying I am very disillusioned by everything right now.
I hear you.
But I'm not being like, hey, don't vote or whatever.
I'm gonna have to make it. I'm gonna have to do it. Biden's got to get good marketing going. It'll be me. I'll do it all. Then
another Animal Crossing.
The last slide. I'll just be like, the Palestine thing was bad.
Give Biden the Joe Henry song.
If we're ever gonna move away from the popular vote versus electoral college, we need to make sure that popular vote is big as fuck, so we can be like, look how broken the system is. Yeah. Something to think about.
Number 2 on the Roper Report, back to video games. Sega allegedly is developing Jet Set Radio Remake as screenshots and gameplay surfaces. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN.com. Sega is allegedly developing a remake of the original Jet Set Radio as a separate project to the officially announced franchise reboot, as screenshots and footage have appeared online. It's unclear if the leaks are genuine, but Twitter user MissCazzy69 shared 4 images of the alleged reboot, sourcing previously reliable Sega leaker Midori, although they were exposed to be a leaker called Mystic Distance, pretending to be someone else when they claimed to give up leaking information earlier in June 2024. The sources of the screenshots are therefore hazy, as is a 32-second gameplay video, which appears unlisted on the YouTube channel Crimson MK3, but both show what looks to be an updated version of the beloved Jet Set Radio. IGN has asked Sega for comment. 3 of the screenshots show protagonist Beat exploring Tokyo by grinding on the rails and running across walls, while the 4th shows the world map, which features new locations, features locations such as Central, Denocho Station, Niribi, Subclal, and South. The video shows what appears to be an in-depth trailer for the game, again showing him traversing Tokyo. Remember, of course, the footage is entirely similar, if not identical in places, to the Next Generation montage released by Sega when it announced the reboot alongside revivals of the other franchises Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Shinobi, and Streets of Rage in December 2023. This remake, if real, is allegedly separate from the reboot of Jet Set Radio.
I love this. Make multiple Jet Sets. Make them all. Let's have a revival. Is this going to lose you money?
Is there
Maybe.
Enough, though? Did we care enough?
Is there enough? What do you mean enough?
I never cared about Jet Set Radio. Like, are there enough fans that this is going to be that big of a deal?
I mean,
you need
yes, there's me.
Okay.
And then there's my friend Joe from back in the day.
Joe Hendry?
No, not Henry. It's a different Joe. But, he's back. I just love his energy.
He's got great energy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so funny because I am with you as far as like, is this going to be successful? How many people care about Jet Set? But also maybe you can make people care about Jet Set. Maybe this could be the thing that makes the catch
hopefully.
on.
And I mean, again, like these reboots and this Next Generation thing, I mean, just don't, put $72 million into them.
Okay, but
right?
you want it to be good. And
you can make a great, you got
to give it a fair shot.
Just put out Crazy Taxi. That's what we want.
Make a janky,
we want Crazy Taxi,
low budget version of Jet Set, and be like, oh, why wasn't it successful? No, put all your money into it, Sega. They're sitting on cash. They put out Personas and Yakuzas every year, if not multiple times a year.
That's true.
They got cash to make this stuff. Yeah, make a Jet Set, test the waters, or dive fully in, which it sounds like they're doing. And yeah, make me happy. I'm very happy about this. I'm gonna be the only person playing it, but I'm down.
All right. We got breaking news.
Oh no.
Dr. Disrespect has tweeted a missive. I'm seeing it for the first time. We will read it in full. The Twitch ban in all caps. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which ... which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the past several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual in 2017? ? The answer is yes. Were there intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not.
Were there real intentions?
Sorry, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's a wall of text to read aloud. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear. It was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I'll fucking own my shit. This was stupid. Now, with all that said, don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm no fucking predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me fucking knows where I stand on those things with those types of people. Fuck that. That's a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. To my team, community, and industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I could have said all this sooner. You guys have always showed me and my family love and support throughout all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. I have the fucking best community and circle. If any of this has made you uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but just know you have always been greatly appreciated. But trust me when I say this, ... To all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero real-life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine, but I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made the mistake all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on the stream, and coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear. ... Yeah, fucking right.
What the fuck? That's crazy, dude. This part specifically where he says, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not.
So what were the messages?
These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nowhere in this does he deny the person being a minor, which is like nowhere in this is he like the person was over the age of 18. He then goes on to say, "Am I fucking pedophile?" The answer is no. I am bewildered. Like, I don't know what to say to this. This feels like manipulation at its finest, and it goes back to what we were talking about before, which is he's going to take a vacation, he's going to go away, he's going to return in 3 months, he's going to do a, hey, I'm back stream, it's going to have so many fucking viewers, and he's going to make so much money off of it, and he's going to continue to be successful as somebody who was pursuing a minor. Cool.
But the intentions weren't real. You know what I mean?
The messages that just happened to lean into the direction of being inappropriate. Come on, man.
God, we've all watched To Catch a Predator.
I was gonna say, dude, this feels like the script.
Oh, I was just coming to hang out.
Why don't you have a seat?
Bags of condoms didn't mean nothing.
Why don't you have a seat? And I have the chat logs. I was just messing around.
Yep.
I was just messing around.
If I ever have,
this is the fucking goddamn script to Catch a Predator.
Like, hey, I was lied to about the age. Nope, he's just
no, I wasn't lied to. I got inappropriate.
If you have any friends that I don't know how old Dr. Disrespect is, I imagine at least over 30. If you have any friends that are Dr. Disrespect's age and they have messages with minors or a minor that lean in the direction of being inappropriate, get them the fuck out of here. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is happening? Anyway, this is a bad statement. Get them the fuck out of here. 42? Jesus Christ.
Number 3 on the Roper Report. Ubisoft says Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still coming. Beyond Good and Evil tweeted, yes, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development, and we cannot wait for you to discover more about Jade's past in the 20th anniversary edition.
How many tweets are going to gaslight me today, man? Like, I'm fucking tired of it. Stop with the gaslighting tweets, everybody.
Moving on.
First is Dr. Disrespect. Now it's Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I don't know, man. I just don't even know anymore. Number 4 on the Roper Report. Do we care? I don't care about Beyond Good and Evil 2, do you?
No,
I never liked the first one. I couldn't get into the first one.
I'm not a Beyond Good and Evil 2 person. I think it's fascinating, but also like, all right, we'll see.
Number 4, Midnight Murder Club revealed from Knockout City developers. This is our friend Ryan McCaffrey at IGN. Velen Studios, makers of Knockout City, Mario Kart Live, Home Circuit, and Hot Wheels Rift Rally. Sorry, I burped in the middle of it. Or she yawned, I guess. I don't know what that was. Has announced Midnight Murder Club, a new 6-player, first-person, hide-and-seek multiplayer party game where all you'll have in order to survive against other players are a flashlight, a revolver, and your wits. It's due out on PC via Steam in 2024. Can we watch it? Is that what
you
we're
want audio?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We like Velen Studios. We love
Velen Studios. I don't know if I'm sold on this direction of the game because this seems like very much like we're making something for the streamers out there.
Yeah.
For the Andy's.
That's fun.
Andy and Mike's in the world.
We'll have a good stream with it once and never play it again.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I can see being very into this.
Yeah, no, we're good. I think we're going to get mileage out of this on the stream.
Turn around. How'd you get behind me? One more round.
6 guests. They all wear weird masks.
Someone in here?
Isn't it, for me, this is one of those where it's a bummer that it's coming to PC only. Like, I get it, but like, come on.
Yeah, but we'll set it up. We'll make it all.
Wait, we can make it. We can plug in a DualSense probably.
I know, but it's like, come on.
Yeah, it took long enough. No, I'm coming in. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, they even have the mics on in the trailer.
Yeah, prox chat. Join the club.
They're coming.
Almost there. Almost there.
I do like the energy and the vibe of this trailer. And they know exactly what they want this game to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play it from home though. Like, we need people in separate areas.
Yeah, that's true.
But we can do it. We have that set up.
Fall 2024. Yeah.
I hope they're super successful and make all the money in the world. And I hope this goes viral and does everything they wanted to do. But man, I love Knockout City so much, and I was hoping it hurts to have that game, finish. They're updating it, not getting more updates, finish development pretty much, and be all right, cool. What's up next? All right, let's make the viral thing. Let's make something that hopefully hits in the way that content warning and Phasmophobia and all these other game hits. I'm sure I know they're probably super passionate about this game too. I'm not trying to take that away. I'm not trying to be they're out here chasing money or whatever. But yeah, man. I hope after this they make another Knockout City or a game adjacent to Knockout City, because that game was so fucking dope and didn't get the respect it deserved.
Agreed.
In terms of sales.
Great dodgeball game. Like they said in that one coming out fall 2024. Yeah, so you get that on Steam. Blessing.
Greg.
I'm sick of the long news. All this big news.
The long news.
We talked about long statements. We talked for a long time about story number 1. If I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You'd go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Here we go. Number 5, the Wii News. Lara Croft is coming to Dead by Daylight on July 16th. Vampire Survivors has a PlayStation release update. They tweet, as it's now summer, we've had a lot of people asking when the PlayStation release date will be happening. We want to keep you updated, but we still don't have a release date to share, but wanted to let you know why. Next tweet. This is the first time we're going through submission process on PlayStation, so it's taking a little longer than usual. We're also doing some trial and error on trophies to ensure we get them right, but we'll let you know ASAP when we have a solid date.
I feel like this is your fault somehow.
Depressing that we still don't have a solid date. Excellent, they're making sure the trophies are perfect.
I feel like they're doing that because of you.
They better. I'll fuck you up, Uncle.
He's not lying.
Next time I see you, Gio, pa!
He's telling the truth. I believe it.
But you get it right. No big deal. Stellar Blade has sold 1 million copies. Congratulations. And then Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed launches September 24th on Xbox, all of them PlayStation, all of them Switch, and PC.
If Vampire Survivors comes out and it doesn't have a platinum,
it does.
Oh,
I made sure of that.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. Maybe that's what happened. They noticed too late, but they've said they have a platinum. Vampire Survivors will have a platinum, or I will fly all the way over there to merry old England and just beat the shit out of them.
What if they got caught up with during the submission process? PlayStation was like, oh, actually, we don't think you need a platinum. They're like, all right,
call me. Again, independent developers, if PlayStation ever says you can't have a platinum and you ask for a platinum and they say you still can't have it, give me the fucking number. Bring me into the meetings. I'll take them to task. I'll take this right to Shuhei.
Vampire Survivors. You have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. Let's do it. You know what I'm talking
about. We ask people watching live, of course, to super chat to be part of the show. So many of you have, and we love you for it. Thank you. A lot of positivity in here. Buses and Bridges says, be pessimistic, but still vote. Exactly.
Of course.
TK says, I love Kevin. I love Kevin too. I complimented him for joining the fray there. Raiden says, I'd like to say this. Tamagoyaki is a type of Japanese omelet made by rolling together several layers of fried beaten eggs. That sounds awesome. And then
you would not like it.
Huh?
I don't think you'd like it.
Me? I love eggs.
Isn't that the one that's they cut it in the middle and it opens up and it's all gooey?
Oh, I love a gooey egg.
Okay.
And then we asked people, of course, to tell us what we got wrong as we got it wrong. Big Bad Beluga writes into kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. It says, music star Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas have spoken about being Rooster Teeth, RIP fans, to the point of listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast in the studio. So they might at least be a little aware of Greg and Kind of Funny.
Okay, well, they're not Sabrina Carpenter. No offense, Billie Eilish. I know Billie Eilish is one of the biggest pop stars in the world. But come on.
I had heard that a long time ago, and I think that, they didn't watch The Gauntlet season 2. And then, right around the time they hired Alfredo, it was like,
exactly.
Rooster was dead. You know what I mean? Bander says, missed news. Dr. Disrespect. No, hold on. Sorry, somebody's commenting and it's changing. Bander said, missed news. Forza Horizon 4 is getting delisted and removed from Game Pass in December.
This happens every time. And I feel like we don't make a big enough deal about this because I think this sucks. Forza Horizon, I understand that there's a newer Forza Horizon game, but
it's Game Pass, right? Isn't the whole? I thought I had this gigantic library.
I mean, not even just Game Pass, but it's getting delisted. The games go away, and these are entire games, right?
I love this omelet.
Forza Horizon 4 was the one in Australia, kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. I believe it's the one in you're wrong. And I know it's always licensing. Is it the car licensing? I always thought it was the music licensing. It was for Britain because it was the 4 seasons. Yeah, I think 3 was Australia, which also was delisted, and I don't like that.
L Captain 22 gave a super chat and said, "Hi guys, pretty sure you'll mention it in Out today, but special shout out to Until Then. It's a visual novel centered around a Filipino teen boy. I have a few Filipino friends, and this is a big deal for them. It got an 8 from Eurogamer."
I actually this morning texted Michael Heim about that because I saw the Eurogamer review. I was like, oh, this sounds like Michael Heim shit. I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, this looks really cool. It might be something that you're into also. Yeah. Art style looks really cool.
What's it called?
Until Then. Kevin has it pulled up here. Yeah, it has like pixelated characters. I believe the environments look 3D.
Is it only on Steam?
Steam and one other platform. Switch, I believe.
I'll make you guess.
PS5? No, I think it might be PlayStation.
Well, this lists everything, so that's never helpful.
Maybe it's everything.
There is a PlayStation 5 launch.
Yeah, on the right.
Well then, this is interesting. Yeah, okay. The pitch on the YouTube video is, it's out now. Uncover a hidden truth with Mark and his friends in this narrative adventure and race to unravel the mystery before it's too late. Barrett, that sounds like your kind of shit too. You love mysteries. You love unraveling them. Look, he's reading emails and buttoning his shirt, Barrett. What's not to like? This is what I do with my free time. I even started it, dude, but now that I'm done with Luigi's Mansion,
I played like
I'll
half.
still play Diablo over it.
I played like half of the last chapter last night. I still have like a second half to go. I fell asleep, but I'm still there. I'm right there. All right, that and the last Elden Ring boss, I'm going to knock out someday.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily in the bank. It was a great one. Thank you for hanging out for some lively discussions, being part of them with us. We love and appreciate you doing that. We'd love it if you went over and got that Kinda Funny membership. Remember, for $10, you get good karma and the knowledge of knowing you help keep the mics and lights on in our studio. Remember, we're an 11-person business that needs your support. Over on patreon.com/kindafunnygames or youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can get that Kinda Funny membership. You, of course, can get the shows ad-free. You, of course, can get the afternoon shows live as we record them. You can go to the $25 level on Patreon today and be part of the Kinda Funny happy hour where you call in to talk to us. And, of course, you get my daily experience known as Gregway in your ears and eyes. Right now, we're going to reset for the Kinda Funny GAMESCAST. Of course, if you're listening or watching later, catch it on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, catch it on podcast services. I'm going to review Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and then I do believe we're having a conversation of what do we do about Luigi.
Let's fucking go. I do have one more depressing detail about the Dr. Disrespect
Jesus
thing.
Fucking Christ.
This comes from Hasanabi, Hassan the Hun on Twitter. Dr. Disrespect's tweet, his big missive that you had read through earlier. The part where it said... were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual back in 2017? Apparently, he had edited the tweet. The original version of that tweet did say, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? But yeah, the updated version removed the word minor.
Probably a minor.
God, what world do we live in, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the video game news you need to know about tomorrow. GamesCast, then streaming today. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.